She simply did not want to go to work today. The thought was too heavy. Putting on real pants felt like a chore. Sitting through endless meetings was unbearable. Pretending to care about spreadsheets? That was the final straw. So she did what any rational adult would do. She took a personal day. Not for a dentist appointment, not for errands. She had a sudden craving, a camping trip, just one day. She booked a spot online. She threw some gear into the car. Then she hit the road. She left before her boss could send that morning email. It was a spontaneous decision, fueled by rebellion and also hunger. She arrived at the campsite in record time. No time to waste. She was on a mission: escape civilization. And civilization wasn't going to escape itself. She grabbed her tent. She started pitching it. Her urgency was impressive. Like zombies were chasing her. The poles went in. The stakes went into the ground. She adjusted. She tightened. Then she stepped back. She admired her work. Honestly, it looked decent. Not professional, but not embarrassing either. She gave herself a mental high five. For someone who just skipped work, she was already winning. The setup took 30 minutes. 30 minutes of wrestling with fabric. 30 minutes of questioning her life choices. She briefly considered sleeping in the car. That would have been easier. But she persisted. When the final peg went in, she felt proud. It wasn't going to win awards. But it was sturdy enough, she hoped. She hadn't checked the weather forecast. That was a problem for future her. For this impromptu trip, she bought a meal kit. You know the kind. Everything pre-packaged. Minimal effort. She unpacked it. She laid everything out. Like a surgeon preparing for surgery. Except surgeons use less plastic. She got the food going quickly. Camping hunger is different. It's urgent. It's primal. It makes you consider eating shoelaces. She also prepared some drinks. Because a getaway needs liquid encouragement. The weather was spectacular. Sunny and warm. A gentle breeze kept the bugs away. For now, at least. The weather made mixing drinks feel cinematic. She poured. She stirred. She added something extra. Pure bliss. Once the drinks were ready, she focused on the meal. It had been a long time since she had a proper drink. The gap was noticeable. She felt a bit awkward. Like a first date with relaxation, she pushed through. The star of today's menu was a lantern hotpot. Yes, a hotpot. Outdoors. In a tent. Because if you're running from responsibilities, do it with boiling broth. She also bought handcrafted beer from Unimaker. Artisanal. Local. The kind that calls your name. She couldn't walk past. So she bought 2 cans. One for the meal. One for the regret of going back to work tomorrow. But before the main event, she took a quick shower. Camping food tastes better when you don't smell like a gym sock. She also brought out sweet flower vinegar, a fancy touch for her drink. She set up her cooking station beside the tent. She placed solid fuel under the pot. She lit it. The flame danced. Simple, satisfying. Then she realized the rice needed 30 minutes. 30 minutes. That's longer than a TV episode. That's longer than her attention span. She sat back. She watched the flames. She waited. The food smelled incredible. She almost invited the neighbors. Almost. By the time the rice was ready, she was starving. Her stomach growled like a bear. She scooped the food onto a special plate. She got it at a camping fair. The plate had a cute palm-shaped handle. Adorable, whimsical. Then she noticed something strange. The texture was odd. It started watery, like a soup that wanted to be a stew. She expected a carbonated feel, but it turned out sticky, like it had changed its mind mid-cooking. She wasn't mad, just confused. She ate anyway. She took a bite, then another. But the heavy beer hit her. She only managed a few bites. Then she felt stuffed. Her stomach had betrayed her. She usually loves food. She can pack away a feast. But lately, things were off. She had been eating a lot. But exhaustion killed her appetite. It was tragic. The hotpot looked at her with disappointment. She apologized silently. To end the meal, she brought out a Korean dessert. White sesame. Sweet and nutty. The perfect ending to an unfinished meal. She ate it slowly. She savored each bite. She tried not to think about work emails. As evening fell, the campsite grew quiet. She pulled out her Stand By Me monitor, a handy little device, perfect for keeping an eye on things. She wanted to be considerate. The night was peaceful. Her neighbors were enjoying the silence, so she connected her headphones. She made her own private audio bubble. She could watch and hear whatever she wanted. The only sound escaping her tent was the crunch of her snack, stealth camping at its finest. The next morning, she woke to birdsong and the faint smell of damp grass. She packed a light breakfast. She headed out to explore. The campsite was in Gangwado. Beautiful area, lots to see. But she had no idea where to go. She wandered like a lost tourist. She squinted at maps. She pretended to know what she was doing. Her plan was to visit the local market. Great reviews, fresh produce, local crafts, souvenirs maybe? But unfortunately, the market was closed. Of course it was. The universe loves a good punchline. She stood there. She stared at empty stalls. She let out a long sigh. It was like showing up to a party that got canceled. She regrouped. She adjusted expectations. Sometimes, doing nothing is the ultimate luxury. She had done this many times. The tent came down, the stakes were pulled. She took one last look. She breathed in the fresh air. She felt a pang of sadness, but also relief. Home had hot showers, home had proper pillows. Looking back, the weather was wonderful, warm and pleasant. She ate good food, even if she didn't finish it. She slept comfortably. Only the occasional rustle of leaves disturbed her. It was deeply relaxing. The only downside? The mosquitoes, those tiny vampires. They made things difficult. She swatted, she sprayed, she cursed quietly. But despite the bites, she was happy. She thought about her next trip. Maybe a mountain, maybe a beach. Her busy schedule might say no, but she wasn't sure. Still, it was a great weekend getaway, and that was enough. Now, if you enjoyed tagging along on her impromptu escape, she'd be secretly thrilled. She'd never admit it, though. She pretends she doesn't care about likes. But between you and me, she definitely checks the numbers. So do her a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the bell if you want to see where she runs off to next. But she can promise good food. She can promise good drinks. And maybe one or two minor disasters. Honestly, that's what makes it fun.